When you go to Disney, do they measure the number of hours you wait in line, or the number, what's important? What's important is what's your satisfaction with the experience. And what I would like to move to eventually is that kind of measure.
Veterans Affairs Secretary Robert McDonald criticized for that comment, comparing VA wait times to that at Disneyland, casting more doubt on the government department that literally is supposed to put veterans first. Let's talk about this more. And we are joined via Skype from Republic, Missouri, by former U.S. Army medic and trauma nurse Yancy Caruthers. Yancy is the author of the book Northwest of Eden. Yancy, we thank you very much for your time tonight on Newsmax Prime. What was your reaction when you heard those comments from the VA secretary?
I was just flabbergasted when I heard that from Secretary McDonald. I was expecting that the next announcement was going to be that Space Mountain was going to be changed to PTSD Mountain, along Peter Pan and the Never Never Land of proctology or something. It was just unbelievable that the man in charge is so absolutely disconnected from the problem.
Well, as people reacted to this, Yancy, Donald Trump took to Twitter. Here's what he tweeted out, and I quote, "Obama's VA secretary just said we shouldn't measure wait times. Hillary says VA problems are not widespread. I will take care of our vets." So says Donald Trump. Hey, let's take a call at 1-877-Newsmax from Frederick, Maryland. Donna joins us. Donna, you're live with JD and Yancy Caruthers, and I understand you're married to a veteran.
Hi, yes, that is correct. How are you guys? I appreciate you having me on.
You bet.
And I think what's going on with the veterans, it's a disgrace. And I think the VA probably should be run by veterans for veterans. And I think we need to follow the money trail on this one. Trump can reform it. He's going to fix it. And when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And it's going to be different, and it's going to be wonderful. And these people who deserve the very best will get the very best.
Well, let me turn to Yancy. Donna, we thank you for your comments. Early in the program, Yancy, there was a veteran who called in from Virginia. He was upset about the carry guide. And of course, I used to serve in Congress. I said, have you called your congressman? And I kind of heard a derisive chuckle and then no response. We found that we couldn't guarantee outcomes, but when we intervened, it made a difference in a lot of cases with the VA. Does it really take congressional pressure, or will it take a change in the Oval Office to finally get this department righted?
I think whether it's a change in the Oval Office or just a change in the paradigm of the way the VA does business, I think that's what's going to make the difference, because I know a lot of wonderful people who work at the VA, people who care about their jobs, they care about the veterans that they support and the community that they're there to serve. But we have allowed a culture to be created where performance is not necessarily rewarded appropriately, and people can get away with things. And when we have incidents that we hear time and again of misappropriation of funds, manipulation of wait list times, and people are not fired for these, what would be grievous offenses in any other employer anywhere in the private sector.
Well, let me go back to the phones if I could, Yancy. In fact, the veteran who we had on earlier has called us back from Luray, Virginia. Mark, we welcome you back to the program. I'm sorry if we got disconnected, but I sure can't understand your frustration. You wanted to say some other things tonight. Go right ahead, sir.
Thank you, JD.
You bet.
The reason why I chuckled when you talked about contacting my representation is because that's exactly what I did. My congressman is the chair on the Naval Warfare Commission, and he sent me a letter back saying there was nothing he could do about me getting hurt. Okay? And
wow.
I even filed it.
Wow, sir. Really? Gosh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also, too, I filed a case against not only the VA, but the government itself, and they sent me more than one letter after I appealed it more than once that they did nothing wrong. Okay? Now, Memorial Day is coming up, and everybody's got, parades to go to or sales at Lowe's or whatever. But you know what? Instead of putting up a monument for the ones who didn't make it home, the best way to honor the ones who never made it home is to take care of the living.
Amen, Mark. Amen. I'm so glad you called back. Let me turn to Yancy Caruthers, because Yancy, you are very concerned, given your background as an Army medic and in healthcare, with the invisible wounds that so many suffer. We've got a couple of minutes to talk about PTSD and what's going on. I'd like to get your comments.
Well, when I wrote Northwest of Eden, I wrote about the trauma of war. But that's really only half of the equation. The other half is the aftermath. It's the toll that it takes on each and every one of us. And the experiences are different. For the guys that are out kicking doors and taking care of bad guys, their experience may be profoundly different than the person who's responsible for keeping fuel in the plane, or, in our case, the individuals who treated the sick and the wounded. I mean, that was a completely different experience. And, I think it's just something that it's very difficult to translate that to the civilian population. And that's one of the biggest complaints that veterans have, is they say civilians will never understand. Well, I wrote my story so that people would understand.
And again, the name of your book is Northwest of Eden. If there's one message to give veterans looking in tonight, in the 30 seconds that remain, what would that message be, Yancy?
I would tell you that we have to have each other's backs. Veterans have to reach out to their local veterans organizations, stop and talk to those people that you see when you see them out at the Memorial Day events, and stay connected to your fellow vets. Pick up the telephone, use the internet, whatever the media is, to reach out to your brothers and sisters that you served with once upon a time, and let them know that they're still supported and they're still cared about.
Yancy Caruthers, we appreciate that. And on this Memorial Day, as our caller said from Virginia, let's remember those who paid the ultimate price, but not forget the other veterans. Keeping that in mind, with Memorial Day, a quick look at Daryl's comment, but the vagaries of live TV tell us that we want to leave you tonight with a very, very touching rendition of Taps. Matt Fitzgibbon of Patriot Music will be away for the holiday. We will see you on Tuesday. Stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.